It is time to break down The Boys. And I'm here regularly with Ronnie alongside with me. And then we got Letier on the camera. But we have a special guest. As you know, we got the man in the middle. Avery, thank you for joining us today.
What up, what up, what up?
He is going to break down with us The Boys. And he's going to school us on things that we don't know that also kind of has to do with the comic book itself. Yeah. Am I off? Am I on? What's up?
Oh, we're good, man. We're good. So I'm going to really enjoy this, man, because honestly, I love The Boys. Well, The Boys, if anyone doesn't know, is a cool Amazon Prime show. Mm-hmm. It also comes from a graphic novel of the same exact name, written by Garth Ennis. Now, the entire point of the book is to deconstruct what we know about comic book characters. In the actual show, there is a Justice League representation called the Seven, and almost the anti-heroes called the Boys. In this universe, superheroes can actually monetize their abilities by becoming superheroes under a corporation called the Vault.
That's the best part. Yeah.
Literally like property, NBA players, contracts, and all this nonsense. It's a pretty interesting take. How do you want to kick it off?
It's more realistic. And let's not get too into it, but it's more realistic to real life. That's kind of cool.
That's exactly what would happen. Like, okay, because if you think about it, you want to be a superhero, it's like, all right, am I just getting paid for this? Oh, they have merchandise. Mm-hmm. They're also talking about where they can save people and where they can't because of legal issues, because that would be a very realistic thing.
Liabilities and all this stuff, like, it's very controlled and manipulative, like, how they do it there. But, again, not to get into it, it's just the way these heroes act in this world. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that in any other sort of medium.
And collateral damage.
It's definitely what we've thought about, though.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, what if this hero did this?
Right.
What if this hero didn't care? Or, like, if I got powers one day and I didn't really care, I felt like doing what I wanted to do, you know, it's more feasible, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
To think that they would act that way.
Now, some cool fun facts about just like the creation process. Mm-hmm. So Garth Ennis, not only did he create this, but he also helped create Preacher. So if you have read that or even watched the show, you understand that this is coming from a sick and twisted mind, which when you watch this, you see certain things happening. Yeah. It's going to be crazy. And the person who runs the show, Eric Kripke, who is the guy who runs Supernatural. So 15 seasons, 20-something episodes each one. He knows how to keep a show running. And now that he's not handcuffed, you're going to see some pretty extreme stuff going on with that. So, what did you guys, when you first saw it, what was your reaction to it?
I'll put it this way. When I first saw I'm a big fan of Carl Urban. I always have been. I've loved him in Lord of the Rings. I've loved him in Judge Dredd. When I saw him in the trailer, I already Carl Urban's in it. Let me take a look. And then just from the grittiness and how grounded the show is in the trailer, and even when you're watching it, I was just like, yo, I'm hooked. Like, I'm going to definitely give it a try. And then, lo and behold, first episode from the jump, like, it gets crazy.
Yeah.
In the first few minutes.
I think, like, 10 minutes into the episode, that's what I was going to say. Like,
it sets the tone for the show.
For me, it's just, like, 10 minutes in, you get to see a very gory death. And I'm not going to, get more and more into that, but...
It's in the trailer.
Yeah, you'll see it. And just off of that, and I'll be honest, I didn't even see the trailer, and... So I just got into it, and I felt like it's so much better for me that I just got into it without really seeing much about it.
It's crazy because actually I was thinking in my head right now, like I don't want to let's try not to like oversay how the heroes act in the show, because that's such a good thing about it. Like when you see how they are,
right?
It's like a slap out of left field. Like, whoa, what the hell was going on? You know what I mean?
And that's really cool.
And I like the fact too that it's characters where you get in a sense of like, it's not like you don't care about the character or it's like, man, they're just throwing something out there and eventually you're gonna want to hate like the Superman of this type of show. You actually can kind of dive into the character. The characters are deep.
They give you backstories on them. They're not just a poster boy or a token superhero.
Right. Guy. It's not like, yo, I want this guy eliminated. I don't want this guy dead for no reason and stuff like that. I think it's more than that.
And even when we go into the characters, you're gonna see that even the good guys aren't really all good.
Exactly.
What is that? It's just about perspective. It's not really a good or a bad thing in here. I mean, obviously I read the graphic novels and I was very scared because there are a lot of things that are in the graphic novel that I'm like, this is a lot for TV. Same thing with Preacher, Walking Dead, but they toned it down,
right?
Yeah.
But still enough to keep a lot of shock value.
They toned it down.
Yeah.
It's still crazy.
So I'm gonna ask you a question about that tone it down. Is it still like for season one? We saw season one. Was season one, in your opinion, was it like, man, this is just enough, or was it more than enough, or kind of was it super watered down from the book? And people that read the book and now watching the show are gonna be disappointed.
So here's the thing: there are a lot of comic book purists who, when they look at things, they go, "I need if A through D happened in a comic, I need A through D to happen now." Eric Kripke did something where he doesn't go through A through D, but he keeps the themes that happened because A through D happened.
Just as important.
And it's the most important thing.
Important, yeah.
Because it's the themes that make them what they are. And you're not going to be disappointed because the substitutions that they make are what create a great and sometimes actually work better because he chose 8 episodes.
Yeah.
It's not 72 issues. Some things work better when you write them and you're drawing them on a page than they do when you have human beings in front of you. Like, even the thing I told you that said that one of the characters does on TV, that might be something that is so jarring.
Too graphic.
It's just a lot.
I mean,
you could probably show it off camera.
Somewhat, yeah, exactly.
But
you could get away with it. You could make the audience know that that's what happened, but maybe showing it how detailed it's in the graphic, maybe that's not possible.
It's actually crazy, and not to sidetrack too much, but I want to mention, I feel like we're at a place in movies and TV show cinema where really gruesome stuff like that, like it's not too crazy now. Like, for me, I think the craziest thing I ever saw on TV was Glenn's death in The Walking Dead.
You thought his was one of the
I don't think that was bad at all, man.
You don't think that was bad?
I think everything in Game of Thrones, has been worse. Like the guy getting his head exploded. I forgot his name. Oberyn. King Joffrey getting choked. The Red Wedding was just insane. A pregnant girl getting
That's
killed.
What I'm saying. Like we're at a point where, like, and especially with this kind of show, and I didn't read the novels, but from what Gershon's told me, like, it's been crazy. Like, I feel like people are more susceptible to watching something crazy like that happen. You know what I mean? Especially like a hero.
Noah. Do you remember Noah's death in Walking Dead? You probably like, no, I don't remember that, but you probably blanked it out of your mind. Yes, when he was caught in the turnstile and the death that we normally don't see in person, we saw what the zombies do because his face was there, and they were literally just taking pieces of his face off in front of you.
I do remember that.
I only watched it once. I've never seen it again.
And you never want to watch it
and I can still tell you in detail. It's so crazy.
Okay, you know what? I want to watch it after we're done with this episode.
You, man.
Please do. Okay,
let's definitely go. You know, let's not digress too much.
Yes,
we went off too much.
Yeah, no,
that's cool.
All right, let's talk about real quick the characters in this show. And let's just talk about what the main, in my opinion, is the main character. We'll talk about Huey. Just giving kind of guys your feedback on Huey. Avery, I'll let you start first. Go ahead on Huey.
Okay, so funny thing is, in the comic, Huey is actually based off of Simon Pegg, and then they made Simon Pegg be his father, which is pretty cool because
great job by Simon Pegg. I think
his American accent was kind of weird to me.
Except that
it got. I was like, whoa! I'm like, what's going on here?
You can hear it slip out, his natural accent here and there sometimes, or like parts of it. You know what I mean? But I thought he did great. But so you were saying, Huey, like, what you thought about him?
Huey's also Jack Quaid. He's also played by Jack Quaid, Meg Ryan, and Dennis Quaid's son, who he eerily looks like both of them at the same time, which is
I didn't even know that.
It's odd. It's really odd. He looks just like them. He does play a really right.
I'm just mind blown now.
He does play his character correctly, and he's also towards the end of the series, you start also seeing that he's making choices and doing things for the cause that he is trying to put forward, which is the traumatic incident that Tone mentioned in the thing. It all centers around what happens to him, and he makes some choices in the way he interacts with the boys and the Seven, which are the Justice League counterparts. He changes. He goes from being like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to avenge my loved one, to being like, damn, like, I don't know what my place is here, and even to being kind of rebellious against the group that took him in. So what are you thinking about?
No, I agree with what you're saying. I also kind of want to touch base that just off the bat, like with Huey's character, it's true what you're saying. He starts off like this pushover guy who I really was annoyed at the character itself. And then towards the end of season 1, I'm now like, man, I can't get enough of Huey. So I love what they're doing with the character. What do you think about Ronnie?
That's what I gotta say. Like, first off, and I actually I put my girlfriend onto the show yesterday, and she fell in love right away. One of the first things she said when Huey was on screen and he was, like tripping out to his dad, if you guys remember in the second episode where he's like, I gotta go home. She was like, amazing acting. Like he I feel like he portrayed what any person would feel after those events very well. Like the acting, the stammering, like he was very convincing.
And even just right.
Huey's evolution throughout the show is believable.
I love it.
It's so believable.
Yes, and I love the little things that they do in the moment where, again, I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody, but they show his girlfriend. And that's really messed up. Like, I'm just like, holy crap. Just put yourself in that position. Yo,
like, what would you
the
do?
love of your life.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about
it. It's absolutely crazy. If you haven't seen the actual show, just watch the trailer. It's literally in the trailer. It's like the worst kept secret. But even though it's right there, it doesn't tell you anything about it tells you just, this is what I should expect from the show.
That's bold, actually, that you mentioned.
But it's the least shocking thing.
Exactly.
The worst things that happen in the show. That's what's crazy about it.
You see the trailer, you're like, yo, that's wild. But then you watch the show and you're like, yo, what the hell?
Like,
that was nothing. You know what I mean?
Worst things.
And that's a testament to the writing on the show. Like, I don't know, obviously, how the novels were, but would you say that the adaptation was done justice? It was done well?
So, yes, because, Huey's not Scottish in the thing he's Scottish.
Oh, wow.
So so little things like that can change. It doesn't affect the story. You know what I'm saying? But they did well with that. They didn't add some more things that we talked about before, like what he has in the. But you still get the whole thing. Victim. He was a victim, and then at some point he becomes empowered.
Yeah.
And the boys empower him to be something different. They give him a backbone after what happened, because remember, the boys, which is the group of like anti-heroes or anti-establishment characters, who give him like the backbone to face superpower. We're talking about people who are superpowered. He's going against.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that bothered me a little bit. Really? How they don't show the fear, especially Huey doesn't show the fear that I would think somebody would show when facing a superhuman.
I'm gonna ask you to remember the episode where the person that the boys captured, remember that?
Yes,
somebody came after them.
Yes,
he was shitting bricks, bro.
But I would think he would be shitting on himself, not shitting bricks. Like, literally, like my pants would be covered in shit.
Well, that's what anger does.
Yeah. Well, that's true too.
Everyone in the boys is super angry.
Yes. Okay.
And
you're absolutely
again,
right.
Like,
and I'm guessing that the boys, somehow, some way, I feel like you could tell from at least the story, they have worked together doing something that we don't know what. I mean,
some military pass or something like that.
But we know they've worked something.
Well, they have touched on it even in the series. They touched on it. The founder of the boys and all that stuff. Like,
yes.
So you know they've been a part of a lot of messed up stuff together.
Okay, so I feel like those guys are seasoned. That's cool. But Huey's just coming in. Huey's us. So I was like, damn, he's literally you need to be more scared, man, because
yo, real quick, like
that guy could crush you with his finger.
Do you guys remember there's a big thing that happens at the end of the third episode? You remember? A lot of blood involved. Do you remember what triggers Huey to do it?
Oh, okay.
It's just little. It seems so like.
And that was a switch. But
small things like that, it's realistic. You know what I mean?
Before we could talk about Butcher, which I feel like is the co-star of the show, I do want to talk about the world itself. It's so, in terms of a viewer watching the show and watching some of the episodes, I can tell you that not only just the characters in the show is very gravitating and something that you could it's entertaining, but also just like the setup in terms of like just the bizarre stuff you see. Like it's a show that if it wasn't on Amazon, it definitely wouldn't be on like WB11. It would have to be on HBO or something like that, because there is nudity in this stuff. It's very graphic.
Even the quality, like I say this to a lot of people, like you can tell, like me myself, maybe you guys could correct me on this, but like when my girl tells me, oh, let's watch this show, first thing I ask her is, what channel is it on?
Yes, that's me. That's so
because
me.
You can tell by the quality.
Even though there's really good shows on the Channel 11, the CW11s, and all this other stuff, I have a hard time telling me to watch
styles of directing.
I need to watch
it on market. They all have a market. For example, CW11 is looking at, okay, I want everyone to watch this.
Yes.
And then HBO is like, well, most of our shows come on 9-10. So I'm not really worried about if everybody's going to watch this.
Imagine if you saw Westworld at 6 o'clock on Channel 11.
But I'm not worried about it.
People would be like, what the hell is this?
And they're getting paid. And we can think about it. The budgets are completely different, because you're talking about a guy on like the Flash, like Grant Austin is getting paid probably like 20,000-30,000 an episode, which is a lot, obviously in comparison to what we make.
Right,
but
right,
you're talking
right.
about Game of Thrones. These guys are making $200,000 to $500,000 an episode, but it's because that budget. And even AMC, you can tell the amount of freedom they have is because they have a lot of financial backing behind them. They're going, well, look, we got AMC. Remember, they're dropping F-bombs. Like, even the language, there's money. They got a budget. They can pay for that.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense now to me. I kind of was kind of confused of how is The Walking Dead so big, but it's because they're backed
Of course.
by such a big
But
company.
honestly,
AMC had a lot of money.
Yeah.
If anything, I feel like the Boys is gonna be something special.
Yeah.
Without a
Amazon
doubt,
got
man.
it. Jeff
The
Bezos,
Boys,
he's got money,
and Amazon
man.
got the money to back that up if they want to get it good.
Look at that. They're filming season 2 right behind season 1.
that says a lot to the testament of the show.
Is this
where-
Amazon's best show?
I mean, I haven't seen too much of the service. What would you say?
Jack
Or
Ryan.
Letty?
Basil show.
Yep.
The Amazing Miss Maisel, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is in New York. Is in New York, like if you're
Like
into
the new Netflix
casting and
thing,
stuff like
right?
that, they do it
Because
here.
Netflix shot all their shows here. Look
And
at Amazon doing it
and
now.
Maisel is too.
But I would say that's more towards like a female audience. Again, I've never watched it, but I feel like with the boys, they're trying to make this like the standout that's gonna make them like a competitor.
I think the other show that I heard from Amazon was the Bizarre World type of thing where Germany wins World War
The Man in High
Two,
Castle.
Man in the
Oh,
High
yeah, yeah,
Castle.
That's an amazing show.
It is? Okay.
Good Omen.
Jack
Jack
Ryan.
Ryan. They have a lot. It's just that for some reason, in terms of marketing, they didn't do a good job
They
at
didn't do a good
talking
job.
about it.
The
Like,
biggest, oh my.
they
I
never-
saw some of the show. I saw season 1. I saw season 1 entirely.
What, Jack Ryan?
Of Man in the High Castle.
Did you like it?
I'm sorry guys, we were getting sidetracked a little bit, but
To
I
prove
liked
a
it, but
point.
it was a little bit like off. It was like, I don't know, but it's opposed to The Boys.
Got you.
I ate it all up. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, let's go
And-
full throttle.
and-
Where's the next season 2?
How we mentioned before, and maybe here if I remember right, like the fact that they started doing season 2 literally right after season 1.
They knew the momentum already.
That's how you know how
Yeah.
how much they were backing this. And
Yep.
what Gershon brought up before the podcast is there's no better timing than now for a show like The Boys, which is a big word, superhero fatigue. A lot of people are feeling it. What's your take on that, Gershon?
So I mean,
Oh.
superhero
That's
fatigue
a big
is
one for me,
a
'cause that's
big
what
one
I'm feeling.
because look how many superheroes films we have from Marvel by itself. We're talking about over 20.
It's gonna get even crazy.
And it's getting, and this is why they're you know what, I'm gonna say the next part for the other thing to do.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean, I don't want to
yeah.
get too much into that. But the whole point is, good guys being good guys, bad
Yeah.
guys being bad guys. That is a superhero film, black and white. However, that's not what the world looks like, and that's why
Yes.
things like The Boys make
So good.
sense because it makes a person go like a bad guy literally didn't have to be that way. There are key moments in a bad guy's life that make him go like I wanted
screw
every
this, yeah.
I cared about people too, but now I just don't give a fuck.
You know what's
Right.
crazy? Like the more I'm thinking about it, like I feel The Boys is what what The Boys is to Avengers and the MCU is what like GTA is to like real life, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Where like think of it this way. You in real life, you chilling, you go about your day, you don't act like a dumbass because you're a human, you're decent.
Right.
Whereas in GTA, you do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Avengers, these guys have their morals, their codes, you know how they act, you know how they're supposed to act. The Boys, the heroes do whatever the hell they want. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Not
More or less?
whatever the hell they want. They are
It's more
restricted,
transparent.
but it's more like
You're allowed to
man,
see the other side of it.
Yes,
Exactly.
this is what
And that's
every
what makes
day
it amazing.
superhero goes.
That's what makes it amazing.
And you know what's crazy though? That kind of DC is touching a little bit on heroes going rogue, because and it's funny how
we gotta make a DC episode.
no, yeah, but like look
We
at
can
that,
definitely
like
get into that.
Batman's always trying to have some type of control over Superman, because if Superman turns into
If he has a bad day.
this guy, what is this guy's what's this version of Superman again? I forgot. Homelander.
Yeah.
If Superman turns into Homelander, who's gonna stop him? I think that's Batman's always like fight.
Contingencies.
And
always
even though these
ready.
movies have been bad for DC, but that's what was one of the things where Batman was like, yo,
glad we
who's gonna
agree
control
there.
them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Okay, because
Let's go to Butcher.
Yes, we almost forgot we did
Yeah.
all these characters.
Yes. No, let's go to Billy Butcher. So just off the bat, I believe my opinion is the co-star of this show. I'll be honest, and I'll tell you the one thing about
You're
it.
gonna break my heart.
I
right
have
now.
no interest at all in Billy Butcher.
Oh my.
Okay.
No interest
Tell me
at
why.
all.
Tell me why.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like he's a very narrowed character.
Real quick. Billy Butcher is Let's explain who Billy Butcher is, just for anybody who might not.
I mean, you can do that, but let them know. They can watch that. Just what is your opinion on what he?
Carl Urban is the name of the guy who plays Billy
actor,
Butcher, of the co-star of the show.
You know him.
I think he's a really
Trek.
good actor, by
Yep.
the way. Yeah.
Like I said, man, I've been a fan of him since forever. Always, like Lord of the Rings or whatever. So I saw him here. I feel like I don't know how Butcher acts in the comics, but in this show he had me chuckling nonstop. Like all of his wisecrack, he plays that like really grizzled alcoholic detective role kind of really well. You know what I mean? Like the washed
But
up
that's
detective.
the thing. It's like you could say that, but he's not drinking. He's not
But
really
you
doing
know what
anything.
I mean? Like that role more or less. of
You
the
don't
washed up
really
guy.
get kind of like what's wrong with him, what makes him tick until the very end of season 1. And still, there's a lot of questions to be answered, which I know probably will be answered in season 2. But that's where I was like, man, for you to be in the co-star, there's a lot of questions. I can't relate to you right now.
I feel like you're right. 'Cause
I could have jumped in and relate right quick to Huey. I just can't relate to.
I don't
to
think we're
Butcher.
supposed to relate to Butcher at all.
So to
We
piggyback
can.
off of something that you said just now,
Mm-hmm.
which will give you some more context about the book. So how he is, the part that you like about him,
Right.
in the entire book, he's like that.
Yeah.
So I guess, Eric Kripke, maybe when he was writing it, was like, I want to build up to this violence. The thing is, in the book, he has always been that violent, and it's even turned down. Remember what he does to the dude in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Like, that scene is
Wait, I
what he
don't
does
remember.
the entire book. He just keeps violating people
The
like
dude in
that
the
over.
bathroom?
The Haley Joel Osment, his character in there. Yes. He does some messed up stuff. I mean, and even some twists of it, remember the whole thing with the baby and stuff like that. In the book, if that scene had happened in the book, he would just kill the baby right there.
Yo.
Because that's what he does. He does stuff like that. So the whole point is, he was a good guy or a better guy once, but he was always violent, but a better guy.
And you can see that in the show. Like he obviously had I don't want to say stand-up career, but he had more of positive like morals, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't so just narcissistic about everything or cynical about everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas here, he's already been past that point.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like he does that really well.
And there's a point that we have to talk about with morals. The opposite of evil isn't good. You know that, right? Like, people think that like the polar opposites are a good thing. That's never good. So someone is just an asshole like Homelander. But the Billy Butcher, who is so overzealous to try and stopping them, he's willing to do anything to do it.
Yes.
And he's blanketing them. Remember, he kept saying, doesn't matter. She's a super.
Yes.
He's
Generalizing,
he's generalizing
yeah.
now. He's not a good, and you realize
He's
he's not a good guy.
He's not a good guy.
He's not a good guy.
Yes, and
But-
that's why I think I kind of don't give a fuck about him.
Yeah, I see. I can get why someone would have that opinion.
That's so crazy.
I get that.
Thank you for the explanation.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he didn't literally per se do anything evil on the show. So that's why I like him, because I get what you guys are saying perfectly. But at the same time, you gotta understand he has
But
a
he could if
reason
he would.
for it.
He has,
But
a,
he could if he
he,
would.
he has a reason
And
for
any of us
hating
in his shoes,
Homelander,
I
but
would
not
not
everyone
everybody
else.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now let's transition to Homelander,
Oh
who,
my God.
who, and in the 7, which is the Justice League. I guess it's kind of like a mock of the Justice League.
He's Superman and Captain America at the same time.
Played by Anthony
He's Superman
Starr,
and Captain
man.
America at the same
The
time.
archetype of justice
That's
and
funny.
freedom.
Yeah, and this guy, I love this character because
me too.
this is like the untouchable. I love everything about
I love how he
him.
carries
Mr.
himself.
Perfect. Yes, like
That's what I love the
everything
most.
about it is so good, and then everything behind the scenes with him is so just like what the,
Anthony Starr does a really good,
Amazing job.
good job with his idiosyncrasies. Like,
Yes.
here's the thing: a lot of things that people do, like, it's one thing to just be evil because you see them doing evil stuff and
Yes.
saying things, but he even has this weird OCD thing about his cape. Like, he can't sit on it. Like, every time, like, he has to move
Oh,
it, like, very, very, very,
yes.
very
He has to go like
slowly. He has to do that.
Yes.
And he takes there's something about Homelander that, so just without doing a spoiler, he is smarter than everyone thinks he is.
Oh, hell yeah.
But he's not as smart as he thinks he is.
That's how it is with people who are really smart. Always they overestimate themselves,
and he is.
That ends up being how they get screwed.
He's
over.
awesome, and he is pretty much what happens if Superman were self-aware about how strong he is and about what everyone's fear, because everyone in the series is absolutely petrified of Homelander, and rightfully so.
Yep. And as opposed to in the DC universe,
nobody
cares a F about Superman.
Everybody love him.
Yeah, they love him, and there's like, nah, man, this guy's never gonna do anything wrong except for Batman.
Like, it's just, I'm thinking about it, like, and not to compare too much, but like, the way in these 8 episodes, these characters, let alone Homelander, were fleshed out is more than I've seen in entire movies. Like, I'm thinking back, like, we were talking about Superman. As much as I love Henry Cavill, that Superman is very, I feel, when I think about him, all I think about is mopey Superman. You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's a whole
other video.
That's that part of that DC video I'm talking about. That'll make me cry and angry at the same time.
Like, that portrayal was just, like, he's one of the most interesting characters I've seen in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, I want to learn more about him. That's for sure.
Let's talk about now, which is I guess another protagonist, Starlight, which is played by Erin
Moriarty.
Erin Moriarty, yeah.
I love her character too. I love a lot of characters here. Butcher's probably the only one that kind of pissed me off.
Breaks my heart.
He loves Carl.
Who is Starlight supposed to be in the Marvel universe or in the DC universe?
So she could be. Honestly, she's just a generic superhero because it's hard to pinpoint her powers. Like, do you control electricity?
Yeah. What does she do?
Do you harness? Is
she energy?
I feel like she's literally us, but in the 7.
But that's
no. That's definitely true. I'm just trying to say, like, what superhero is she?
She blinds you with light and she's super strong.
So she is not really one particular superhero.
Yeah.
It's just that she just has those powers, like that. I mean, Dr. Light, if you know who that is in the comics, that's we'll talk about that later. But she doesn't have any like particular powers of a certain person in the Justice League.
Right.
However, she does have
parallels as far as personality.
She parallels Golden Age Justice League.
Yes.
Which is very
very
conservative suit.
Yeah.
She shows no skin. Cares about just saving everyone, and that is Golden Age Justice League. She's like a throwback character. Remember, I just want to save people.
It's hilarious. Like, now I'm thinking about it, I feel like, and who's the director of the show again?
Eric Kripke.
I feel like Starlight is a lot of things, you know, but I'm thinking about it now, and it's like, you know how she has her role. You know what she is. We look at her and we're like, all right, she's a goody. She saves people, this and that. And her entering the 7 and everything that happens to her, which is really fucked up, is like the director or the showrunners behind the show kind of showing how, like, we're seeing the transition of how the heroes we know, it's not gonna like mesh well. The same way how, again, another video, but like DC has had so much trouble trying to like make decent, good movies, but their style of heroes is not gonna work in this time. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Me Too movement definitely takes a big precedent in here. That definitely shapes it shapes the way that this whole thing is. Definitely empowering Starlight. I will say this though, Starlight's character, even in the book, is good. I do think Erin Moriarty and another character we're gonna mention, I think the actor like Jesse T. Usher, they are not the most moving people.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
She played her role well, but I wasn't like...
She got the job done, but I wasn't wowed by her performance. So I guess we'll go to that. She is what she is. But I don't want to say too much about that because we have more stuff like that.
Let's just talk about, you know, let's before we get, instead of getting into every single character just because we're running a little bit out of time, how about we just go pick one character that you guys kind of like maybe want to see more of, or just that's my character, good, bad, doesn't really matter. I'll start with you.
Everybody, nah.
Nah.
Honestly, as much as I love Carl Urban, like as the show progressed, you find out more about him. So we know where his stuff happens. Even though this show ended literally in no way, I think no one could have predicted that. That was so random. But as far as characters I want to see more of, Mother's Milk I love. I thought he was really cool. Even though he's obviously more of a supporting role, I thought his personality I liked a lot. You know,
he has
a strict
He's
code.
a really cool guy.
He has OCD, which plays into his personality that Frenchie actually, you know, comes at. I want to see more of the boys.
Frenchie. French dude, right? In the thing, he's played by like an Israeli actor, and you would never be able to tell. That dude is amazing,
On point.
amazing. I just wanted to say that because he has a great performance.
Did he? I really thought that his French was cheesy. Actually,
I think it was supposed to be, but could you tell he was Israeli?
No, you definitely can't. No,
Right?
that's true. I knew for a fact, obviously, well, he's not French, but I also was like, man, like he's really trying to overdo the French accent.
He played his character,
Which
well,
which
his
might be
character.
that's what they want to go with. When I thought that would be
Listen to French
that's what
rap
I
in the
thought was
kitchen.
pretty cool. Like, oh yo, he's like and I was just like, yo, this guy is trying mad
And
hard.
he's obnoxious.
Yeah.
And like, remember, when you first meet him, he's an obnoxious guy and all that. Female, she's a cool character. Obviously, she's gonna get more fleshed out. But it was kind of cool. She does so much without saying anything.
Right.
Black Noir, who you guys are gonna kind of fall in love with just by looking at him because he's like a really big snake eyes.
honestly,
Just to interrupt.
yeah,
Give me your characters that you're like, yo, yeah, this I want you. No, this is what because you already read the whole. We read the story. So give me the characters that you should tell the public maybe, yo, guys, this is what you should keep an eye out. Like these are the guys that are gonna make the show.
So the aforementioned, please look out for Black Noir in season 2. I'm not gonna say too much about it. They don't say too much about it.
Is Black Noir black when he takes off the mask?
So
actually, the actor
funny
who
to say
plays
that
him,
the
yeah.
And
actor
I want a little spoiler.
the
about that.
actor who
actor
plays him is definitely black.
Okay.
But we are going to. But I mean, it's inside the suit. That's the guy who's doing all the stunts.
Right.
I feel
His
like I know where you're going
stuntman.
with this
So his
already.
stuntman. Yes, his stuntman is black. That's all I'm gonna say. In terms of everything else, season 2, there are more heroes. We only talk about the 7.
Right.
But Vought has other teams of heroes. So I want you to pay attention. Because the Justice League, there are other things
real
like
quick,
that.
I'm actually a little not worried. Might be an over exaggeration of what I feel about that because I just like everyone here was so fleshed out so well, and I really fell in love with a lot of the characters. That I just hope that the introduction of more heroes doesn't deter from everyone we know already. Like Queen Maeve, I love her. You know, I think she's really cool.
I gotta see more from her.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just hope it doesn't become a thing where let's jam these people.
It's so many that you
in
can't
here.
really do. Yeah,
Like
I agree.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree
hope
too.
that doesn't happen.
So I would say, like, overall, it is an excellent series that does a lot with a little because it's only 8 episodes. And a lot of people have gotten used to getting 15 to 20 episodes on regular syndicated television, but it's obviously because they have commercials and really the show is like 30 minutes instead of an hour.
And imagine once the show gets a budget where it's like gets more money. So I mean, maybe not season 2, but maybe after season 3 when it's already when Twitter, when social media is blowing up about this, it's good. It's getting a lot of good feedback. But imagine when it gets to the level, if it does,
Like
gets to the
HBO
level,
money level.
you know what I'm saying?
I think
It
they
should
already
be
got that money.
I mean, I think they're already there in terms of that. I just feel like they have the
I know what you
access
mean.
to
Like,
it,
but they haven't spent it.
but they probably
like,
haven't spent
they
it.
see what they have with the show, and
Yes.
now they're like, all right, we got.
You guys get the green light, full go the bank. The bag is on. You guys can use the bag.
Exactly.
You know?
The fight scenes can definitely use an upgrade.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like A-Train's fight scenes, I thought were so for somebody that's fast. I was like,
That's definitely and I'm a fight scene person, so when I saw I was like, you didn't need a lot of money to be creative with that.
Yes.
But it is what
yeah.
it is.
That's
It
what I'm
is
saying. I still feel like this is, in
Isn't
my
it
eyes,
crazy?
I saw a little bit like this is
Yo.
low budget.
isn't it crazy?
But
go ahead.
I feel like once that's what I'm saying. Once money gets invested in this, and one show that they kind of related to it is the 100. I don't know if you guys saw the 100.
I love the 100.
Yo, it started off like low budget. By the end of it,
finally, bro.
it got
it's
so
excellent.
much money. It got not money, but it got so much better. And I'm like, yo, they probably invested in this show. So I hope this show gets a little bit more of resources.
I feel to sum up real quick, like the show more or less. For me, I think it's crazy that we're talking about a superhero show, and we think it's amazing, but yet the action is not the strongest point.
It could be better.
You know what I mean?
That's great.
That's insane.
That's excellent.
That's
For a
great.
superhero
That's
show.
excellent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I feel that should tell you everything you need to know.
Writing.
The show,
Yeah.
if you don't watch it, you're doing yourself a disservice. Honestly, it's a great show, great writing, great characters, great world building. It actually asks you heavy questions. It doesn't just go by the regular tropes. And again, it couldn't have came at a better time.
I'll give you guys the characters that I'm looking forward to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Deep. As weird as that
That's
sounds.
interesting.
Because you saw he ended.
I was
ended
yes,
crazy.
confused.
Yes, exactly. Like I feel like this guy is gonna kind of turn on his own on his own people. But yeah, again, I don't want to spoil
What the hell
it.
can he really do? He's just.
But then that's for real. He's
Like, yo,
he's the real Aquaman in my opinion. I'm like, yo, Aquaman, you're not that useful out of water though,
Yo,
bro. Come on, chill.
All right, not to get into too much spoilers, but when the scene in the show where he flies to wherever the hell, and he gets an apartment, he's settling in, and they're like, all right, so this is your job now. I'm like, yo, this dude is hot garbage, bro. Like,
He's in the Midwest. He's not.
like,
He's
get off
landlocked.
of the screen right now.
He's
bro.
landlocked. That's funny.
He's landlocked. There's no water. There's no water.
That's funny. I didn't even realize that.
I
Until
didn't even think about that.
and then also looking forward to Black Norn. I absolutely so. I can't.
I'll wait because
This character
his
is
scene was
so,
cool.
Yeah.
And I got enough faith in the rating right now that I think they're gonna do him justice. So I know it's gonna be great. But as far as, and not to interrupt you, but who I'm looking forward to, Huey. I want to see him
Yes.
develop more because he's on the road right now. That's just
Yeah.
Huey. Definitely female. I want to know more about her
Yes.
and Homelander. Homelander.
I think we got a lot of Homelander, but
We
it's
got
true.
a lot, but Homelander is such a deep character. You know what I mean? Like those little flashbacks you see about him, you could tell like he's been through some crazy shit.
Let's give this show some overall some plus minus. Let's give it from 1
wrap
through
it
10.
up with
This is
the-
what we
with
do
the-
normally.
Oh, okay.
Let's give season 1 through 10.
High. It's gonna be high.
I'll start with myself. I'll give this show an 8, and it's because
Okay.
I'm hooked on it.
No trash.
Now, no, not trash.
No
Definitely
trash.
not
You hear
trash
from
on this
Tokyo,
one.
no
Not
trash.
trash. But it has. But I'm not gonna give it any higher than that. It's pretty high because it's still room for
Why
improvement.
not give it higher?
There's room for improvement on the show.
But that much
So,
improvement?
It's only 2 more. So it's only 9 and 10.
8 is solid.
So 10 would be. So again, just if you guys, I say this almost every episode. 10 would be the best show for me. A perfect 10 has to be the best show. Right now, the perfect 10 for in terms of TV shows, it's Game of Thrones. Now,
Woo!
yeah.
Pre-season is 7 and 8.
Don't care. Overall,
That's another video. That's another
overall,
video.
I would say Game of Thrones is the best show
I
that I've ever
understand that.
watched.
Oh yeah.
I'm having a stroke.
hey, and we'll get on to let's do some extras. Let's do some extras after this. And then
real.
and so then I'm gonna give it an 8 because it has the chance to go even better, 9. But then 10 will be a best show that I've ever seen. So it does have a chance to go to 9. So
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Avery,
I would say I like 8. I would give it 8.5. But I won't give it a perfect 10.
Okay.
And here's why. I usually don't give series like that room for improvement. That's a very good point. And also, I need to see it stick the landing.
Yeah.
Very few shows stick the landing,
yes.
and either they overstay their welcome or they do something very, very weird. And I need
You
to
got the
see
ball
that.
rolling.
I think that you can't even give a show on season 1 a perfect 10.
That's why, and that's exactly why I never do. I'm like, oh, it was so exciting, but then a lot of times,
wonder,
But
like,
can you follow that up? That's the question for
Season
me.
2, I
Let
might
us
be able
know
to.
Yeah.
which show in
The
season
perfect
1
10,
is the
exactly.
perfect 10.
I'll give you an
That's only one
example
season.
of a show that was like to me was not up again not it could have been up there I guess, but Netflix Ozark season
That's
1
an excellent show.
insane.
I
Season
like that.
2 I feel like it dropped the ball a little bit on me. I still liked it a lot.
Honestly, I'll tell you right now, Breaking Bad.
I didn't
Philly
see
was
Breaking Bad.
amazing.
Unfortunately, I'm a sinner. I didn't see it.
So,
Yeah.
it's
Well, let
episode
me get my rating
8,
and then
8.5,
we'll
and then
go.
yeah.
So for the boys, you guys brought up a lot of good points, and I'm glad I'm going last. Now I could assess what they said and whatnot.
Give it a grade first, and then assess.
The grade I would give it, man, honestly, I want to say 9. But the only thing that holds it back from 9, I'll give it an 8. A straight 8.
Okay,
Is
I like this for
The
grade.
lack of really good fight cinematography.
In a world where we have so much
if
of
we
it.
had the Russo brothers direct the action in this show,
Now let me
9
ask
or
you a
10.
question, and before we wrap up the thing, how can we? Isn't it really hard to just get superhero fight scenes right?
In season 2,
nah, man,
it's
MCU.
going to be imperative.
MCU,
From
dude.
what comes up next, it's going to be imperative because of a lot of things that happen.
Let's say, for example, the Avengers Endgame. There was a
Endgame?
lot of cuts.
That's
There
how
was
they
a lot
shoot
of
their
jump,
fights,
jump,
yeah.
jump, 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 jump. it's really a lot of 101s in the show happening.
And they
You
make
can't
it
be
make sense.
cutting.
I like they make the one-on-ones make
Okay,
sense.
but if you see Endgame, I feel like Endgame's a perfect example of great fight cinematography.
Giant scale though.
True, but like
Giant
even
scale.
like the short one-on-ones we see, like Cap versus Thanos.
No,
What do you
because you
mean?
don't see that. You see that for like you see Thanos getting jumped by 5 other people. It's really easy to
No,
get
but I mean
that.
when he first gets the hammer, remember?
But that's still a Royal Rumble fight. That's not just a one-on-one.
That short part. That's what I'm saying. Like, as far as fight choreography, brilliance for superheroes, I feel like Endgame is a perfect example.
But no,
This show gotta work on it more.
I wouldn't go with that. You said you had the right directors, wrong film. You said fight
Okay.
choreography. So Russo Brothers,
Civil
great.
War.
No, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Because we're talking about practical.
Winter
I like Civil War better.
Soldier.
But look, we talk about fight choreography being like
We're so off topic.
One-on-one.
Let's finish it.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Oh, Sandman's coming out. About to sweep us off the stage. All right, all right. So this has been a great review. Please wrap it up, Toe. Do your
Yeah,
thing.
guys. So thank you for watching. We definitely recommend The Boys. That show is hot,
100%.
and jump on it before it gets hotter. And then we got these people that don't want to watch it because everybody's on the wave. All right, so don't be the one that you don't want to watch it because everybody else is watching.
Doing
You
yourself
know?
Eight
a
episodes.
disservice.
Avery, thank you so much for being with us.
No problem.
We still got one more show with Avery, at least one, but we're gonna give it to you guys, and we're gonna wrap it up. So Review Rogues, Ronnie, let's hear it. Avery, Tony, guys, have a good one.